Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our daily word on this kind of rainy Thursday morning. It's good. We need some rain, and it's going to cool things off, so that's always a great thing. So, hoping you are enjoying your day, and I'm appreciative always that wherever you are on life's journey today, tomorrow, tonight, whenever it is, that you have chosen to join me, that you say good morning, good afternoon, and greet me, and just remind me that you're watching and that you're continuing to reap the benefits of what it means to be together in this daily word and in this setting together. So, this morning's daily word is number 777, and I've chosen just one verse. Again, this one verse is part of a larger story, but it's an interesting verse that just jumped out at me, given a couple of conversations I've had in the last couple of days, and an important reminder. So it's from 1 Corinthians 12, verse 27, and we hear these words: Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. So Paul writes these interesting words to us. It may be probably where we have gotten the song, All God's Creators Got a Place in the Choir, that we're all a part of the body and that each one of us is a part and we each play an important part. But I think often sometimes, we get weary, we get tired, we get um, pushed back from and we resist when we are pigeonholed into being one part of the body. We know we have various gifts, but we don't always just want to do this one particular thing. But if we're going to be more than one thing in the body of Christ, then that's going to mean some responsibilities for us that we probably hadn't signed up for. So every part, you and I, depending on the situation, is part of the body of Christ. All the parts. Sometimes we have to pour water. Sometimes we're the worship leader. Sometimes we have to clean up the mess. The list goes on and on. But we're all so important in this body of Christ. So Paul writes these words because it's an explanation about gifts and what we bring to the table, if you will. Hopefully for us, we continue to find out what our gifts are, how our gifts change and multiply, and that then together, being the body of Christ, together, we function in a really good way. So yesterday in my email and on this Facebook page, I'm beginning. I've already started. Actually, it's been a few weeks. Started working on Advent. Now I know Advent this year doesn't start until December 3rd, but there's a lot leading up to Advent starting and what it is that we're going to do together. And so I put the dates out there and I said, I already have a bunch of resources. Folks have expressed interest in Christmas caroling. I know that sometimes y'all don't love the hymns that I choose, even though they fit the theme. I know, I get that. So I put a plea out there and said, look, are you interested in helping? Do you want to go through the resources with me? Do you want to help choose hymns? Do you want to help think about lighting the candles? And what about Advent Wednesday nights? And what about maybe a trip to the zoo again for the Christmas lights? And what about? And so I said, if you're interested in helping, just let me know. Now, this isn't a complaint or a pressure to make anyone feel guilty. Only one person has responded and said, "Yeah, I would love to be in conversation." Well, two people. The other person has to wait and see, and I get that. December seems like a long way off, but it's not, because in the body of Christ, where we all play a part, these things happen really fast, and they're going to happen, with or without us. Sunday morning we have outdoor worship. Folks will help us set up and tear down. We have trunk or treat coming up. We have our final Advent Wednesday night. At Summer Wednesday night. Summer Wednesday night. We'll plan Advent Wednesday nights, of course. The list goes on and on and on. I think this year we're gonna have a Christmas dinner something elaborate, something that everybody can just come to. No agenda, no worship, no nothing, just a dinner to celebrate the holidays together. Paul reminds us that you are the body of Christ and each one of you is a part of it. I think for us, what that means is that we shouldn't limit our gifts. That we shouldn't say, well, I can only cook, or I can only teach, or I can only sit in the pew, when instead we're called to use the diverse nature of our gifts to build up the body of Christ. I saw this the other day, this quote that said, ministry ends up being done by whoever shows up. Showing up is more important than being gifted. Show up. I think those are profound words that I think Paul would resonate with. Ministry is done by whoever's there. However we share our lives together, whatever it is that we do the best together. Imagine that we don't always all get to be the head or a strong arm. Sometimes we're the foot, sometimes we're the toe, sometimes we're parts unmentionable. But it takes all of us, right? It takes all of us to build up and be and share and do the body of Christ. And when we process it that way, it seems to me that we find then a healthy way to be in community with each other. But that's not limited to church. That's not limited. It's not limited by any stretch of the imagination to church. It's about sports teams. It's about other groupings of folks, other organizations that you all are involved in. It takes all of us doing our thing, not always having to be in charge, but working together to be the body of Christ. And ministry, mainly for us in this day, in this culture, is really about showing up and filling in the gaps of where we need to be. And so I pray that you and I, as we live our lives, that we would find ways to recognize that we are a part of the body of Christ. And to not let ourselves get pigeonholed into one small thing, but to use the gifts that we have, the showing up that we have, to make a difference in the lives of others. So that's our daily word for this morning. Thanks for joining me. You might have noticed that I'm home in the background. My computer in my office, 11-year-old laptop, is dead. I've had it worked on. I've had it looked at. It's 11 years old. It's outlived its life. And so I'm trying to figure out what's next for a computer. I don't need a laptop anymore. I'm probably going to buy a desktop. They're much, much cheaper, half the price or more of the same quality capacity that a laptop is. So that's why I'm at home and trying to do some work at home with my computer here that works fine. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday morning at 10:15. It's going to be a beautiful Sunday morning. We're going to be out in the shelter for worship. Dress casually, bring your chairs, and then a reminder to sign up for the 20th, which is our final summer Wednesday night. But always, 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 as we end this, know of God's love that surrounds you in powerful ways. Know of my love for you as we live our lives together. And then make this day a great day. Recognize your part in the body of Christ. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.